Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Connie Douglas from Great Stamping with Connie. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada, and I would like to welcome you to CraftSpot. I'm here. I believe I am live. So far, no storms. A little bit of thunder this morning, but no, and you know, a dozen drops of rain sort of thing, but nothing bad has come in yet. And now the weather radar saying early afternoon. So fingers crossed, we will get through this with internet and power and all the things that we need, and we can do some crafting together. So today I have part one of a two-part. I'm going to do the second cards next week. So I'm going to do two cards today, two cards next week using the Simply Leaves bundle. And this is a new bundle that went live in July, and it is a punch bundle. We love punch bundles because punching is quick and easy and fun. And this one is very versatile, as I will show you over the course of the next 2 weeks. So we're going to play with it. And if you place an order with me from now until like 2 weeks, so basically 2 weeks from now, whatever that date is, I'll have to look it up. Um, if you order the Simply Leaves bundle, so basically a $61 order, I will send you the tutorial for the four cards. If your order is $100 or more, I will send you not only the tutorial, but all the cut pieces of cardstock and designer series paper to make the four cards. So that will be my thank you to you for placing your order. And if it includes a Simply Leaves bundle, then you can make these cards. If you get the kit and you don't have the Simply Leaves bundles, because any $100 order will qualify to get the kit, um, you have pieces of craft product to play with, and how, where's anything wrong with that, right? So you will need the Simply Leaves bundle to complete the cards as I am showing them. But if you don't order that bundle, but you still place the $100 order, I will send you the kit, and you can just go into your stash and use whatever you like from there. Okay, shall we get crafting? If you are joining me today, do say hello. Let me know that you are here. I have this up on my screen, so hopefully comments will come through and I will see that you are here with me. This is the Simply Leaves stamp set. So you can see that there are one, two, three, four, five leaves. No, yes, five leaves, two leaf vein images, and four sentiments. So it's one of those stamp sets that I call the complete package, because you have images and some variety in things as well as sentiments. So you can do everything you need to do just with this one stamp set. And then there is also a punch. I'm going to show it to you upside down because it is much easier to see that way than if I flip it over and you have the glare of the silver image on the top. So this is the punch. Punches out these three leaves. It will punch out these if you just stamp those. And then you have two smaller leaves that the punch does not fit, but they are not difficult to fussy cut. So you could always do that. Okay, let's get started with some crafting, shall we? Just need to rearrange a few things here. As usual, have many things on my desk, and that's basic white cardstock, not thick. Okay, so I'm going to start with a thick, basic white card base. And I'm going to give that a nice burnish. Hello, Donna. Welcome. Thanks for stopping by. So we'll get this set up. And then I am using the Delicate Dreams Designer Series paper. It is this one on the side that you would know the most. It is the specialty paper with all that ooh, beautiful shiny foil. but I'm going to use these two pieces on the front of my card. And I have cut them at 5 1/4. What I have not done is cut them at uh, any sort of length that or width, height that I want. So and then I have one more strip of, this one's not cut, clearly. um, this is Mossy Meadow, but I'm going to use the back. So, or I'm going to use the Mossy Meadow side just as a strip in between my pieces. So you know what I'm going to do right now, because I'm just super lazy and this is all here. I am just going to lay that along there, going to grab my paper snips and just make that piece 5 1/4 inches. There we go. Done. Okay, so I am going to adhere this piece first. Uh-oh. I do have more, but my tape runner is getting to the end. We'll see how far we get with it. Sometimes when I think it's running out, it goes on and on and on. And other times it's like, yep, that's it, I'm done. Okay, so I'm just going to leave an equal border all around these three edges here. And then I'm going to bring this one in and just kind of see how I might just leave it like that. That might work. Put this here. What I do want to know though, no, I think I could make it work. Okay, let's just put this down, shall we? Okay, so this piece can be any length. And then this one, you just bring it down. And I will put all these measurements in the tutorial. This one happens to be 2.5, give or take, 2.5. This one was 2 1/4. So we're heading towards 4 in total is where we're sort of headed if you want to cut everything just to line up. I am cutting it with an overlap, or I have an overlap because I wasn't sure what sizing I was going to want. So get that lined up there. And then I'm going to come in with this. I'm going to use liquid glue for this one just because it will give me some wiggle. And, and it's easier to put this little thin strip of liquid adhesive on here than it is to keep your tape runner running straight. Okay. And I'm just coming, so I'm using these lines on these squares to get that straight. Hopefully the paper was straight. Okay, so there is our setup. We don't usually do it this way, but because I was not joining all these pieces on a piece of cardstock or anything, it seemed like a logical sort of way to build that. Okay, and now I'm going to bring in the punch, and I have this piece, and I have this piece. So the back of this is the Very Dark Secrecy with the foil, but I'm going to use some of this, and I'm going to punch one leaf with this. Look, I'm just going to get that flower right in there just to look nice. And then I'm going to come over here, and I want to make sure I get some of this hydrangea hue in my flowers. So I'm going to not necessarily cut this in the most efficient manner. I'm going to punch those out of that middle area that had the flowers that I wanted. Oh, see, I thought maybe I should have checked that a little bit, but we can put this up here. Whoop. And we're just going to put these guys. Actually, you know what we can do? We can do this. Let me get my sentiment piece ready. Could even put this up, couldn't I, to dangle down over here. Is there enough, I'm wondering if there's enough, I might need to use this piece just to get enough contrast going there. You see the three leaves better this way, don't you? Interesting. So there is such a thing as too much hydrangea hue. Not really. I love that color, but I think that perhaps we should go with this. Let's get on to a sentiment, shall we? Maybe where is I cut some pieces. I know I did. Did I bring them over? Oh, yes, they are hiding underneath there. So I wasn't sure what sentiment I wanted to use, so I cut two of these. I have a little something to say hello. I think that I will use that one. I think that would have fit on there, but I think it will fit. You know what? We'll just try it on both. How about that? And I'm going to stamp it in hydrangea hue. Oh, inky spot. Let me just grab a piece of scrap paper here and bring this in because that's a little more ink on there than I would like. These are ink spots that I made using my re-inker and or uninked spots, and perhaps I was a little heavy-handed in the ink adding. So now I'm just going to be a little more gentle with my tapping here so that we don't get big blobs of ink. Sorry, I need to bring this down a little bit so I can see what I'm doing and have a hope of getting it straight. So okay. Now I may not have been quite heavy-handed enough on the bottom there. That looks better. Okay. And right there. This, oh, I kind of wobbled a little. We'll see what we get. Okay. Could have stayed a little bit lower, but we're okay. Let's just do that once more and see what we get on this piece. I touched the paper, so we're going down there. I'm not sure it's going to be straight. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. If you touch your paper, you're a little bit toasted because you're going to leave ink spots if you pick it up and move it. So I could feel that it had touched. So down we went onto the paper, but I think we're okay. Okay, so there's our two sentiments. I think either could work. This one is maybe a little bit, it's got a little more white on the edges, but it is tall enough. I wasn't positive it was tall enough, so let's plan to use this one. I'm not sure what I want to do here. Looking at the tops of these leaves, and that's, oh, do we want, no, we want that, do we? Goodness. Now I don't quite know how we want to do this. So I could either do this with the blue, like everything layering on top of each other. I wonder if I want to punch one of these with less blue and more of some of this. What do we have on these ends? Maybe down here. Let's just punch a couple more leaves and see what we think of some variations, some additional color. This one has a little more green in it. What do we get out the bottom here? This one has very little blue and more of the neutral colors. Okay, so Donna, I need your help here. What do you think? Here's one with less blue, a little more green. Put that guy in. Still very sort of predominantly blue. There it is with the tawny. I think it needs a little more color than that, though. Go back to this. But then the alternative could be just two leaves as well, couldn't it? Things in threes, right? It looks like a lot. Does it look like a lot on the card though? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm a little bit too up close. Maybe I just put this here. We put this up high. Dangle those onto there with the top, the leaf stem. Is that, I guess it's, yeah, that's a leaf stem. Out the bottom. Could work. Okay, now I'm playing before I before I put anything down. Let's just, sort of make sure we know where we're going. I'm thinking linen thread here. I'm just thinking, no, could do. We have crumb cake. Thinking linen thread. Get into the bag. And I'm thinking I'm going to keep it. Oh dear, I haven't straightened any more of this from when I last used it. I can keep it quite fine, but I'm not sure whether I want linen thread fine or baker's twine fine. So let's just see. Put that on there. Let's try it with the crumb cake. See, this one is not nearly as curvy, or I was going to say crinkly. It's not really crinkled. It's round from being wrapped on the spool. The linen thread is very fine, so it adapts very easily to its environment, which was a small roll. Okay, go. Okay, so the September to December pre-order for the new September to December catalog went live to demonstrators this morning. So that's always an exciting time. We get to order things now. Oh, you know what? I really like that. It can use just a little more oomph. So we're going to abandon the linen thread. As demonstrators, we always get early access to new products, which is, of course, super exciting. I'm just going to make this just a little bit bigger. I'm going to cut this frayed end off because it's kind of bothering me. And we'll tie that again, but I do like it. It's just, it's one of the perks of being a demonstrator that you get early access, so you can get things in advance. You can play with them if you're doing craft shows or making gifts for the holiday season or anything. Getting access now can be a super benefit. So if you're a Christmas crafter, a holiday crafter, there's lots of Christmas things in this catalog, fall things. If fall and Thanksgiving or Halloween are your thing, there is a great selection in there of products that you could, I know you would get excited about because they're fabulous, and you can get them right now. So if you would like to learn more about that opportunity, joining the Great Stamping Believers team, we would love to to welcome you, and I would love to chat with you about there. Hello, Lorna. I was thinking you were away this week, but I think it's next week. You said you're away, so welcome. Okay, so I'm really being slow with this card because I couldn't decide what to do with these leaves. But you know what? I am just going to put them here. I'm going to kind of lean them all in together, but not overlap them. And then we're going to bring the sentiment down just a bit so that you can still see these leaf stems. So hopefully I have put these in a similar place to where I had them because that was kind of working. Okay, put the lid on that. Grab some dimensionals. This is the one that we decided we were going with. And whoop, just you ever wonder how dimensional dots get everywhere? Kind of like that. You just flick them around your craft studio and then they just land everywhere. Okay, so we have used baker's twine, which is a little thicker than linen thread, but still makes a very small knot. So I am just squishing that all together to uh, get it get all the sticky up underneath the knot. This slightly bigger loop. Okay, that will relax, hopefully. If not, I'm going to put a little water on it and get it to relax because I want him to come down a little bit. And I really did want this loop a little bigger. So, whoops. Okay, yes, I do want those to dangle a little more than swooping up, but that will happen. Look, pearls of beauty. Ooh, and they are shiny. I think this might be exactly what we're after. And I am going to do 3 in a row here. So I'm going to put the center one down first, and then I'm going to come in beside it on one side and beside it on the other side. Easiest way to get 3 gems lined up nicely in a row if you are doing them in a row rather than a sort of triangle. Okay, there are these things out. Card number 1 is complete. And that's the Simply Leaves bundle. Okay, card number 2. Here's where we get into some of the versatility of this bundle. So again, I have a standard card base in thick basic white. Scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to give him a nice burnish. And then, okay. So what I have done now is I have stamped the one leaf vein onto, this is some of the In Color Designer Series paper. Going to stamp, move this one up a little bit for now. We'll bring him back later. Stamp another one of those. And here's a little trick I learned this morning. Where did my peaceful climb go? There we go. And where did my stamp go? There we go. Okay, so I stamped, so I wanted to make some of these. This is Flirty Flamingo. So I've stamped a Flirty Flamingo leaf on Flirty Flamingo cardstock. But I wanted to do a number of them. So I, came along and I stamped them all. And then I went to punch them out, and you will see that the punch goes this way, not this way. So if you want to, just stamp and punch a whole bunch, stamp across. Okay. It wasn't a problem. I just had to trim my paper each punch. So, we sort of get going and we like to stamp, punch. I couldn't do that. I did have to stop and rearrange things a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go on an angle with this one. So I realize this is not straight across, but I don't want these stripes to be straight. I don't think. I think I want them to be angled. And so that's why I have ignored all the information I just shared with you. I think that I am going to have to cut this guy out in order to punch him now. Yes. The one with the little bit of green. The one. Oh, gosh, Donna, that was really slow coming through. What did I use? There is a tiny bit of green in there, but then I ended up covering it up with my sentiment, didn't I? But I used the green over the this was the other, so I did end up using the one with the bit of green. See, look at that, Donna, we have good taste. Um, but it kind of disappeared. Anyway, I think it works okay. So I am just going to cut this. I hope I have left enough space here, but it's okay if I have not. So this one that I did, you may see that I have this lovely angle on here. That's because I stamped this too close to the bottom, and now I'm wondering if I've stamped this a little bit too close to the bottom. Certainly, I have stamped this, cut this piece in a way that's not going to go into the thing, and stamped it or cut it out with scissors a little bit too close. So this is a post-it note. Okay, well, it's a strip off of post-it note. Makes an awesome handle for your punch. Okay, so I have cut or stamped this one too close to the bottom again. So the bottom of my leaf isn't going to make it into my punch, but that will be okay because I'm going to tuck my leaves up this time. So here they were, the stem was showing for this card. They will get tucked under. And here is how I'm going to hopefully, I think this will all fit. Yeah, see, here's where the adventure begins because I did not test this, but here is where I am headed with this. Flower. Put them to the edge a little bit. And I don't even know that I will need two leaves, but I will tuck a leaf underneath, and maybe another one over here. We'll see. A lot of stuff. But let's be brave and start this flower, shall we? Okay, so I am going to put dimensionals in the center of these, and I am even going to cut them in half because I want to allow room for them to overlap. Okay, so I don't want to have to worry about dimensional bits touching dimensional bits and things. So I'm just going to come in here and put a couple of dimensionals down the center of each, what is now a flower petal. So this is something you can do with this stamp set and punch. It's not just leaves. Okay, let's get these backs off. Oops, see, my glue dots were sticking to my take your pick because they were coming off the roll there. Okay, so we are ready. Now, I don't want to put these down with a whole lot of pressure to begin with because there may be some wiggling and jiggling and stuff required. I am going to kind of overlap them a fair amount. And I should probably do this too, shouldn't I? This way. Oh no, this is supposed to go over this one, isn't it? This guy back here. No, over this one, under this one. Oh, I don't know that won't work. Somebody has to be on the top and somebody has to be on the bottom. And I think what sticky dimensionals. We want this guy a little bit higher. Just want to make sure I have die cut a center, so I have this much space to play with that I'm going to hide these stems. So as much as I'm overlapping them, there is a limit to how far we can go. Okay, here we go. I'm going to put that down. This is going to go over the center of my flower. And we are going to tuck. We're going to tuck them. Maybe we'll tuck them both here, even if we decide to use two. Just like that. And then the sentiment can just come down along the bottom. I didn't put anything down here because I just wanted to get it all kind of laid out and everything. But I think we're just going to leave it white like that. I'm going to come in with this to make our flower center. And where'd I have a strip of cardstock here? Oh, I hear thunder. Leaves seem a little large because I tucked the flower in. You just want one. No, I think we'll be okay though if we layer them so we don't see a whole lot of one of them. We'll tuck him in deep. There we go. But I was supposed to be stamping my sentiment. What do we think? Flirty Flamingo, maybe? Flirty Flamingo ink here. Whoops, upside down. This one is thinking of you often. So I'm just going to stamp that. This is just a 1/2 inch strip that I'm putting that on. And we'll cut that edges on an angle just because that is quick and easy, but just adds a little extra to the sentiment piece. Okay, let's get these guys glued down. In here, fairly far. This is why I wasn't worried about the bottom of my leaf getting chopped off because I knew it wasn't going to show anyway. And then we're going to come in here with our dimensionals. And you can use these guys full size. You just have to place them carefully so that you don't dangle over an edge. I hear thunder. It's a little bit off in the distance, but oh, thanks, Donna. I'm glad you like it. I'll put this down here. Make sure we're getting it straight. There we go. Whoops. Oh, we didn't put our flower center down. I think that I'm going to do this flat on here because there's a fair amount of texture going on with the flower petals. So, pretty much centered there, center-ish. I'm in here with the center. There. There we go. I'm just holding this for a minute to let it set. And then, so these are Calypso Coral, and this is Flirty Flamingo, but they almost look like the colors would coordinate, don't they? They really kind of do. Did I use the wrong ink? It says Flirty Flamingo. Anyway, you know what? I think these will work. I think we can use these on here. So let's sprinkle some of these around. See what we think. Oh, that thunder is a little bit louder, implying it's a little closer, maybe. Okay, I think that works, doesn't it? So stick these away and bring in the other card. To do right. May have to wet that to get it to come down. Okay, bring this in. So there are two cards using the Simply Leaves bundle. I'm just gonna come back here and everyone. Yes, two cards using the Simply Leaves bundle. If you place an order in my online store from now until 2 weeks from today, should look up that date, shouldn't I? Sorry, I didn't mark down the date. Today is 2021/8. So we're into August. So the first week of August, first Tuesday of August. If you order the bundle, I will send you the tutorial. If your order goes over $100, I will send you the full PDF tutorial along with all of the bits and pieces to make both of these cards, plus the two cards that we're going to make next week. So make sure you come back next week to see the other two. The other two will not be, this is not, I said summer theme. This is summerish. It's light colors. There's flowers in those leaves. This is definitely summer, right? Summer flowers. Next week, we're going to do a little different theme and maybe we'll change things up a little bit. So make sure you come back to see that. And if you are interested in placing an order, you may do so anytime. If you order the bundle, I will send you the tutorial absolutely free. That's it for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. And I hope that you'll come back next week and see the other two cards that I have. Until then, there is Connie's Craft Along on Thursday afternoon. Hopefully you got the sizing for those. We're going to do a little bit of a technique and we might get just a tiny bit messy. It's not too bad, but when you're working with ink and water, sometimes you get a little messy. So join me for that one as well. Thanks so much, everyone. Have an awesome rest of the day. I look forward to seeing you again really soon. Bye for now.